Hi, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, or whatever time you're watching. Very welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Mai Imrechts. I'm an intuitive and an energy healer. And today I want to bring forth a message of our higher self. And I want to do things a little bit different today because today I'm guided to just channel and not serve you with an energy healing session. But yeah, this is part of showing up in my fullest self, showing up as who I am, and for you to do the same. And so that's why I was called to talk to our higher self about trusting ourselves more. And how can we get there? What are the tools we need? What are the blocks that are blocking us from really doing the things that we need to do and stepping into that higher version of ourselves? And higher version, I mean literally like connecting with source, connecting with the light, connecting with God, however you want to call it, and using that in your purpose and letting your soul shine, letting yourself shine, and your physical self as well, like sparking that light and really fully stepping into that purpose without any doubt, without blocks. So that's the topic of today. And this video was mainly, not only, but mainly inspired by Amanda Ellis here on YouTube. She's an amazing channeler and she does great work and healing. Check her out if you haven't connected with her. She brings healings through on different levels. And today she announced the video where she channeled Michael Jackson, which she has done many times. And the video is called Man in the Mirror. And that's something that really speaks to my heart because I have done a lot of inner healing work. I've done a lot of reflection. Also, this blue moon, this full blue moon in Pisces is a really good time to reflect. There's a lot of planets in retrograde right now as well. And so this is really a good time to really check in with yourself, come home and feel what is actually going on inside of yourself. Oftentimes we're so focused on our external stuff, on what is going on, what is this neighbor doing, what do I need to do for my boss, how can I serve my kids or nurture them, what do I need to make my partner happy or family members, whatever it is. And we forget to really look inside ourselves and check in what our energy is or where we are, what we need, how we can serve, like what is actually that turmoil inside of us. And so I really wanted to bring that this channeling through to help us with tools and ways that we can do that more on a regular basis, and that it becomes something that is more natural instead of scary, because we often fear confronting ourselves. Because what really came through after watching that video from Amanda Ellis for me was like, I did the work. So like what she was asking for was to stand in front of the mirror and go look at yourself. And when I did, I was not sure if I could trust myself. Not trusting in the sense of like if things are if I'm like wholehearted or doing good things in the world, but more if I would follow through with what I need, if I follow through with the ideas and the tasks that I'm getting from my higher self. And or it could be like exercising, to go to the gym if you feel called to do more exercise, or it could be like stepping into your purpose. It could be all kinds of things. And so when I was standing there in the mirror, I could see this kind of distrust and dishonest about who I really am and what I'm here to do. And that I was so busy looking at what everybody else was doing and where the people around me, like I said, were, and that I was going inward, but I wasn't honest with what was happening in my internal world. And I would often find excuses to not go ahead with things, or to postpone it, or to do other things first. And so I could see a kind of sadness and a kind of distrust, really, in my own eyes. And so when you look into that mirror, when you're standing there, it's really important that you look through your physical appearance. So you don't want to look just at how you look today, if you look tired, or whatever you have to scratch, or you feel you don't look good physically, but you really want to look into your eyes and beyond that physical appearance, and you want to go see what is going on a soul level. So try it for yourself, because it's very interesting how much information I got from just doing that. And I had done that in the past. It's great healing work. It's great, even if sadness is there, even if anger is there. It's a really nice exercise to look yourself in the eyes and to really check in with yourself at a level that is beyond the physical. So that's the message I got. So after I looked into the mirror, got those messages, I went to lie down, and I was like asking me the question, like, how can I trust myself more? Like, what can I do to improve that trust, and to be honest with myself, and go for the things that I want to go for, and to really step into my purpose fully and unapologetically. And so I went to lie down for a little bit, and not much was actually coming to me. I couldn't really find answers, and the only thing that actually came through was like, make a video, go on YouTube and do a live channeling. And so that's why I'm here, and I'm going to do this together with you, and we'll see what we get from the channeling. So I decided to get in touch with our higher self. Your higher self is connected with the light, is connected with source energy. And so if we can feel that, if we can tap into that, we're gonna get the answers that we need. And it might be slightly different for everybody else, but I think with the information that I'll be channeling, you'll get answers for yourself, and you'll be able to make up what you need to do in order to step up, or to go for it, or shed those beliefs that don't work for you anymore. Okay. So I'm just going to take a minute to really tune into your higher selves. Before I do, I actually pulled, when I came to sit down to make this video, I pulled a card, and I chose a deck that I actually don't use often, the Secret Language of Light. It's interesting that I said life, because I think it's the same thing, light and life. At least if you want to live your life to the fullest, you gotta turn on that light inside of you. And so it's a deck by Denise Jarvie. I don't know if I'm saying this right, but I haven't used it much. And so it was interesting that I was drawn to this deck. And the card that came up was there's only light. So again, that's a good card. And I'll read you a little bit of the message that came with it. And then I want to tune into this card and see if I can get more out of that card as well. So let's start there. It's in the book, it says, light is sought after and extraordinary. We seek clarity of light and lightness of being and light bulb moments. Light bypasses the analytical mind and takes us straight into loving wisdom. It is time for you to step into your shining light. Be illuminated. Let light in. Today is the day to release any disturbances in your energy. Happiness will come naturally, unless you do something to prevent it from happening. Release all that is stopping happiness from flowing into your world, and it will appear before you. It seems too easy, but it is truly that simple. So yeah, I thought that was very appropriate for what I was feeling and seeing. And actually, I forgot that I did, but I wrote down a little channeled message when I was tuning in after I looked into the mirror. And so I'll read that to you as well. I realized that not bringing my teachings and healings out to the world is an act of selfishness. By trying to protect myself from outside criticisms or projections, I am actually preventing spirit to use me as a vessel for my purpose. I have to move past that fear, the beliefs and conditioning, so I can be a pure vessel for higher communications to come through for the benefit of the world. Our fears are often standing in the way of our purpose. It stops us from fully expressing ourselves and living a soul-aligned life. We are often so busy with what is going on in our external world that we forget to look inside ourselves. How are we doing? Can we be honest and trust ourselves? Are we allowing ourselves to feel what needs to be felt? Are we showing up for ourselves? Are we holding ourselves to our highest standard? Or are we attending to everyone else, our boss, our partner, family, our children, or what everyone else is doing and forgetting that we even exist, that we have a purpose to fulfill, and that we are here to take responsibility for our own actions and desires? Can we look in the mirror and be our best friend, love and accept the person in the mirror wholeheartedly? So yeah, that I wrote that after I looked into the mirror, and then I got the message to film this. And so I think this is part of my mission, and I have to conquer these fears of showing up. And I think everybody has something in their life, whether it's in showing up, like putting your artistry out, or helping a part of population in your community, or like whatever it is. It can be at your job, stepping up and speaking your truth, or really standing up for yourself or for the people around you. So, and I think we all here have a purpose, and so you can go through the world not fulfilling it or not stepping into it, but you won't feel that light inside of you. You won't feel as fulfilled and as grateful and joyous, because you're constantly busy with things around you instead of really attending to what your soul came here to do. And so, yeah, that really brings me back to this card where we see this picture of somebody in meditation, and where you can clearly see that the light, the source, is connected with our higher self here. And so when we do step into that light, you can see that we radiate it out into the world. So through our aura, we radiate this, and this will change the world. This will change the universe around you, I'm hearing. So that's really interesting. So change started with us. if we want to see change in the world, if we want to see things be done differently, we have to start first. And starting with looking within and finding that light within us. And the light has to be so strong that it dissolves all the fear, the conditioning, the beliefs that we've grown up with. And so this card is really telling you, like, are you choosing the light, or are you choosing what everybody around you is saying or doing or pushing you to do? So are you showing up for yourself? Ask yourself that question. Do you want to step in your light? That's the first question to ask, probably. And that's what we're going to get some answers on how can we trust ourselves more? How can we really actually take the steps and fulfill our purpose and trust ourselves that we are going for it? And so when I had everything set up to make this video, I went back to look into the mirror and see if there was any more messages coming through. And what I saw in my eyes was this feeling of fulfillment and happiness and joy. And I hadn't even made the video yet. So I could feel that I was actually taking the step, doing what I was asked to do, and I just went for it without questioning it. And that alone already filled me up. And so by doing that, the light in me can shine brighter. Even if nobody watches this video, even if the message didn't get through, or I get criticized or whatever for whatever I'm saying, still I did the job I needed to do, and it filled me up and it made my light a little bit brighter. And when you do these little things, when you follow your intuition, when you follow those little nudges, that light can get stronger and stronger and stronger. It builds, and it becomes more prominent than what is going on the outside. And so the goal first is to really look inside of yourself, to really go, maybe take a few minutes in the morning or whatever part of the day that works. You don't you don't have to lie down or anything, like just write it down or just tune in with yourself. And so ask yourself, what am I here to do? How can I take the steps that I need to take to get to my purpose, to make my light shine brighter? What can I do in this moment today that connects me with that light and that makes me trust myself? And for me, it was showing up in this video, but it could be other things. It could be go to the grocery store, pick up some flowers and deliver it to this person, or whatever it is, like saying something nice to your neighbor or to your coworker, saying I love you an extra time to your children or your partner. And so it could be small, it could be very little, but the most important part is that you ask that question and that you then actually go do it, because that's the start. That's where we need to start connecting with that light. And you don't need to have great intuitive skills in order to tap into that light. Not at all, actually. But it starts with trusting yourself. Again, I'm hearing. So you need to trust that whatever comes up is meant for you. And like the first thing you think about is probably the thing that you need to do. Or maybe you don't get anything, and then later in the day you go about your day and then you get this little nudge like, oh, I should do this. So your higher self can come through in different ways. And when you're too busy or too focused in that moment, for example, to get the answer, again, your light can actually not come through because you're actually focused on how it should be, and you're more focused on your external like how things should work out. And so that's really hard for you to connect with that light in that moment, because you're actually blocking it by putting an expectation or a also I'm hearing an expectation for what it is that it's gonna come true. Because we can, if we use our mind to do this, to connect with our light, we're actually filtering out a whole bunch of messages that won't be able to reach you, because your mind is focused on things that it knows from the past. It's also focused on like what is happening in your current reality. So it cannot, if you bring your messages through your mind, it cannot play fully, I should say, or it cannot, it's filtered. That's the best way to describe it. It's filtered through your own beliefs and conditioning. So the important thing here is to really be open-minded and not expect anything, and see how the messages come through. And once you start to do that, you will see a little bit of a pattern, I'm hearing. So you will see, for example, when I'm on my walk, I seem to get these downloads of actions to take or things to do, or when I'm playing with my kids, or when I'm emptying the dishwasher or whatever. So you will get to see these patterns. And so that's, there's two things here. That's great that you notice, but once you notice the patterns I'm hearing, there's a big chance that you will get the messages in a different way. You will actually start getting, because you learned that skill then. You learned it you recognize that this is your higher self talking. So now your higher self, that light, can grow bigger within you, and it can reach you easier. So you will get messages maybe when you're sitting in meditation, or when you do a little bit of breath work, or when you intentionally sit down to write in your journal. So then again, don't put an expectation on it, because you want to make sure you clear your being or your body from any outside noise or from any interference. And so you actually want to be a pure vessel for that light to come through. So they're also saying, your higher self is saying that if that's really hard for you to get over that bump, energy healing can be a good way. Doing yoga, walking into nature, going for a swim, preferably in the ocean or the lake, and all with the intention to clear out your vessel and to make that channel a little bit stronger. And now I ask the question, why is it like, but how can we actually trust ourselves now from doing the messages that we got? Because that was my problem a little bit, where I would get stuck on, yes, I get all these downloads and ideas, and maybe, yes, I would start doing something, but then fear would creep in, or something else happens that I feel I can't do this, or I have to do it at a different time than I planned, and so it would often stop me in my tracks of what I was trying to achieve. Let's see what I have to say about that. Let me actually pull a card on that. And that's interesting, because I actually hurt my thumb here. I don't know if you can see it. I have a Band-Aid on it. I have a cut, and like, shuffling cards is really hard for me right now. So I could use this as an excuse to stop this video or this channeling, or do it in a different way, not use the cards. But that's exactly what I'm talking about, is not letting anything stop you even if there is resistance, even if things don't go the way you think they should go, and just move through the resistance, because that's interesting, because I'm trying to see what wants to come through. It's moving through the resistance. Oh, I just had it. What was it? Can you repeat that again? So moving through the resistance is what we need to do. So we're never gonna be a clear channel without resistance. There's always going to be some resistance around us, because we're human and we have our past experiences and we have our external world. So it is working with the resistance I'm hearing now, to move through it and to see it as it is, and to acknowledge that it's there, but then to move through it or find a way through it. So like me now, shuffling the cards a little bit differently than I would normally do, or I could use another technique for shuffling the cards. Yeah, so it's like working with it, finding your way, and not seeing it as something negative, but just seeing it as this is part of being a human. This is part of what we signed up for. Is actually being stronger, the light being stronger than the negativity or our human existence. And that's the only way to follow your soul's purpose, I'm hearing. Because if you would let your human decide, nothing would happen. So you have to really connect with your soul essence and make it go. Let it shine, make it go brighter, connect with it, learn who you are. You can do that by looking into the mirror and looking into your own eyes and see, who are you? Or even when you're in like a social gathering, speaking from the heart and not letting that outside filter to rule your conversation, but more your light, your inner self. I feel I deviated a little bit, but anyways, I hope that is clear what I wanted to say. Oh, this is the card that came out while I was talking. So appropriate. Many masks, the authentic self. Card number 38 too, so it comes to an 11 in numerology. So yeah, this is really an initiation to let that outside world fall away, I'm hearing. By the way, this is the Shaman's Dream Oracle deck. I'll put the links below, from Alberto Villoldo and Colette Baron-Reid. I love this deck. I use it actually a lot. I love working with it. And as you can see, many masks. So yeah, you see the light in here in this card. It doesn't need many words, I think, to really know what this is what is saying. And what I'm really seeing is like this gray in the background. So this is the universe, this outer space. I don't know if it's clear on there. And so we are all fragments of everything that exists. That's what I'm hearing. So we are all parts, we all have little particles of everything that exists. But underneath all of that sits our light and sits our soul, or inner soul's source essence. Because our soul is really an extension of source essence. And you cannot really see that separately, I'm hearing now. So we are everything, source included. And it depends on where you want to focus on. That part of you is going to come to the foreground. So do you want to focus on that light that that represents love and healing and fulfillment and greatness and all inclusivity, unity? Or do you want to focus on all these masks or all these little parts of you that we have inside of us? And so it all depends on where you put your perspective. What angle do you want to look at yourself? Do you want to look at your deepest soul essence? Or do you want to look at that person who was traumatized or who in earlier years or who wants to play a victim? Or this person who is a little bit of a narcissist? And so what you see inside of yourself is a reflection of what is happening on your outside world. So how you see yourself is a reflection of what is happening on your outside world. And I'm really been taken to this mask here with that head bowed down, and so we can look down and like play the victim, take the punches, sit in that kind of energy. But then you can see this light here above it still. There is still light that wants to come through and that wants to get you out of that cycle. So no matter what mask you're wearing, no matter what you are doing or projecting, the light is always going to be there. Let's see where they want to go, where your higher self wants to go with that. So I'm being taken to this mask here now, and I'm seeing like laser eyes. So laser focused. So this is a moment where you can change your focus. You can move your focus from your outside world to your inside world and to what you truly need and truly deserve and truly desire in serving the world as well. So it cannot be a selfish act, I'm hearing. It has to be in a way that serves humanity or the planet or the universe. So where is your focus? Like, are you laser focused? Are you willing to become laser focused on that light within? Are you going to stand in front of the mirror and ask yourself that question? What am I here to do? How can I show up in the world to help others? Am I going to let myself down again? Or am I actually going to follow through with my actions and my purpose? Am I going to listen to my own guidance? And my throat is choking up. Let me drink some water. The reason my throat choking up is really I think a message for me where I was used to, like, I meant to speak up, I meant to speak my truth, and I struggle with that as I've never been felt and heard truly as who I am. I feel like, yes, on a surface level maybe, but I feel a depth that people cannot grasp often around me. And so the only way people can grasp it is by speaking it, and is by showing up in that way. Because if you don't show it, if you don't show the depth of your being, people will never see truly who you are. So it starts with you. It starts with taking those actions, showing up, and following that your inner self, your higher guidance. And what is that for you? Like, what is the best way for you to do this? Is that through journaling? Is that through mirror work? Yes, you can do healing. You can do like release work. But the release work is never going to end, I'm hearing. There's always more around it. So the main thing is really to accept all those masks. Know that you're all of these, but where do you focus? Where do you laser focus? Yeah, that's pretty clear, I think. That's really cool. Let's see what's on the bottom of the deck here of this empty well. Time to replenish. So if we keep going into this well without stepping into our purpose, we're gonna feel empty. We're going to feel a victim of life. We're going to chase happiness by outside matters. When we get that promotion at work, or when we buy this new purse, or whatever that is for you. And as you can see, is where it all, this light here, this is really where we need to connect, because as it's going to fill you up, you can see that fire around it too. So this is really following that light, looking into your soul and following that guidance is really going to set you free. It's going to help you get to that next version of you. And when you actually follow through with your actions, you're going to feel fulfilled and you're going to feel happy. And also by helping others. If you stay in your little well and you stay inside your home, for example, and you don't speak your truth, or you don't do the things that you're meant to do, this is the environment that's what we will feel. That's what we embed ourselves in. And so nothing else can come in that point. But if we get out in the world, we follow our purpose, we connect with that light, we take the actions, this is going to put you in a momentum. It's going to put yourself out there. And that's when you get the energy of receiving back. That's when you get the energy of being propelled forward to your next level. So if we keep protecting ourselves and keep looking in the same corners of a room, nothing is going to change. So what is really going to change is laser focus on that light, on that higher self within us, looking into the mirror, asking yourself those questions, listening for guidance, and then following through with those actions, and just one step at a time. And as I said in the beginning, it could be as little as like buying flowers for somebody, or saying, I love you so much, or helping your coworker with this task, or checking in with your neighbor. So it could be, or smiling even at a stranger. So it could be little as that. But I'm hearing, yes, and those are good, but the next step is to really take those steps and put yourself out there. Because if you keep moving into that same energy as you're already in, you're not gonna progress. So it's stepping outside of your comfort zone a little bit when you need to. And it's also putting yourself out there, making those connections with people that maybe you wouldn't approach, but this time you would. So yeah, it's getting out of that cycle of like looking what is currently showing up, doing something that is not your normal, not your norm, something that gives you a little bit discomfort, but then that great joy when you actually do and follow through. That's amazing. Let's take a deep breath here and really take that in, because I think that was a great message. And I think we all realize it. But it's easy to stay stuck and to just stay in the empty well. I'm being drawn to time to replenish. I'm hearing not replenishing by like resting, nurturing ourselves, giving ourselves what we need on a daily basis. Yes, that's important, but it's time to replenish yourself by doing those bigger things, by getting after what you're here for to do. That's how you replenish yourself. It's time. It's time. So no more sitting around and waiting for things to come to you, but taking the actions and fulfilling your purpose. Really nice. And now I'm seeing this card, and this will be a nice one to finish on. It was actually on the bottom of the deck of the language of the secret language of light card deck, transformation. So this is when transformation happens within you, but like you can see in the card, also in the worlds. And I'm even taken to the universe, because if we all step up and do our little part, if more and more people can connect with source energy or source light, God, if more and more people step up to do that and actually take the actions, transformation is going to happen at a bigger level. And yes, it might take us through some rough times, because as we step up, and you can already see it in the world, the more people are stepping up, the more of that darker energy is being brought to the surface. Now too, with the internet and stuff like that, there is a lot coming up. Nothing, you cannot hide from anything anymore. And that we cannot be scared of that, I'm hearing. So we need to, as we are stepping up on the light, with the like tuning into your light, the darkness is going to rise up to the surface. Like if things get brighter, we're going to see what's sitting underneath it, and there is no avoiding that. So the task is not to be scared of that light, or of that darkness, I mean, but standing strong in that light, so that the darkness can come up to the surface to be transmuted and dissolved. And then you can see all these light particles being thrown into the dark space. So that's really what we do then. So that's how we transform not only ourselves and our own life, but the rest of the world. You see the world here as the center of this transformation. And I think that's really what we're all going for, essentially, is to live in a world that is more at peace, where we actually care about each other, where we actually serve each other, live together in a way that feels fulfilling on both ends, the receiving end, but also the giving end. And that's really the transformation, I think, that we're all longing for, to feel, to come into a world where we feel at peace and where we feel at home and we feel seen for who we are and accepted for who we are. And that means accepting at all levels, like no matter no matter what actions you've taken in the past, no matter what actions that one person has taken, that you have encountered throughout your life. So it's also forgiving, I'm hearing. So forgiving yourself, forgiving others, for wearing that certain mask, having a perspective that wasn't quite the perspective of light. But we all have it in us, and it just depends on where we are looking. What is our laser focus? And so some people are focused maybe on the darker side, other people are more focused on the lighter part, but we all have it in us. It's that reflection in the mirror. You look into the mirror and you see all of it, the whole of you, all the good, the bad, and the things to come. The things to come you have in your own hands. You have in your own hands by not staying in here, but by really taking those actions, listening, taking those actions and stepping up and trusting yourself. Yeah, that's a beautiful way to empty the well. I was going to say to finish this message. See if there's anything else that wants to come through before I finish. I'm here. Stay focused. Help each other. Encourage each other. See the best in everyone. So, because then you can see the best in yourself. But don't forget that those parts that you're not happy with, whether it's in yourself or in other people, are also part of you. And that it's part of your filter and part of that being a human. But that doesn't matter. Like, even the worst person on earth can suddenly see the light if they want to, or if that's what their purpose is. So see the best in everyone. And stay tuned for what's to come, I'm hearing. So, because you will see that the ball will start rolling, and you will see a greater piece of you be feeling enlightened and feeling joyous and purposeful and fulfilled. Okay, I'm going to end it here today. I think that was a beautiful message. I hope it helps you. Let me know in the comments, and like and subscribe if this speaks to you, if you feel you want to receive more of these channelings. Let me know if you like this concept of card reading, channeling. Yeah, and I hope we can connect. Let's encourage each other. Let's cheer each other on. That's really why I started this channel, is to bring people together to heal, people that are on the same path, people that have their noses in the same direction, and then really cheer each other on as we embark this journey. It's not easy. We all come from a different background and we all battle our battles. But yeah, as we can link arms, we can stand stronger, and it's easier to hold that light when we have each other. And with that, I'm going to finish it for today. Thank you so much for being here, and hopefully see you in the future. Bye.